Today on How to Be a Grown-Up, I'm going to teach you how to make chocolate-covered pretzels. And here are our ingredients. 2 bags, pretzel rods. 2 baggies, candy melts, any color or flavor. Some foil. 1 of these sort of stoneware containers. It has to say that it's microwave safe. That's important. Pyrex is also good for this, and stoneware. A few paper towels, a pair of scissors, a bit of extra foil, and 2 cookie sheets that are covered in foil, or 2 kind of long flat containers. This is actually my roasting pan. And you're also going to want some sort of a container that you can put the pretzel rods in. It does need to be long enough to hold the pretzel and have some sort of container. If you don't have something like this, you can use a plate and just tent the top with foil. So it's not a problem if you do. All of these ingredients cost about 15 bucks, and these could sell for up to, I've seen them up to almost $3 a piece. So you can get super fancy, and it's really easy. So I'm going to show you how to do it. Once you know the secret, it's really, really easy. Let's get your tripod set up. All right, the first thing you want to do is make the boat. This is the trick. Okay. Fold the corners back so that it's stiff. You want a nice stiff boat. So basically I folded it in half. Okay. Fold the edges up. This is going to be a little tunnel where your chocolate goes in and your pretzel sticks right inside like a hot dog. Fold up the end because you don't want any chocolate escaping. And so you've got sort of almost a hot dog bun kind of container here. In fact, I think this one's a bit long, so we're going to fold down part of the end. You don't need it too long. Just about yay big, about the length of your hand. Shouldn't be too big. Okay. That is the trick to making this project simple. Set that aside. Okay. Candy melts. I'm going to an Easter party, so I chose to use the Colorburst Brights melts, and these have sort of colored dots already inside of them. You don't have to do anything additional, and I was looking for simple for this, so this is actually what they look like. They're sort of off-white with little dots inside of them, and it's exactly how they'll look on your pretzel. So use scissors to cut open one bag. Never, never, never put these in the fridge. It says it right on the back on the instructions. Never, never, never put them in the fridge. Into your container, pour about 2/3 of the way full. And set those aside. Open your pretzels as well with a scissor. When you buy the pretzels, you want to be sure that you're getting the ones that don't look like they have any broken ones. There's always going to be some broken ones, but you do want as many coming to the top of the bag as possible, because any of the shorter ones are really just going to be tossed. So in order to prep this, I just pull them to the edge of the bag so they're sort of sticking out. Do wipe down your counters first, of course, before you bake. Okay. All right. So you've got your you've got your pretzels prepped. You've got your candy melts ready to go into the microwave, and you should of course have a working microwave that's clean. And here's what we're going to do. I'm going to put it on for 8 minutes. We're not going to use all 8 minutes, and then we're going to hit power level down to half. Power level high, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50. All right. Okay, candy melts in. Let's see how they are there, about 2/3. And we're gonna cook this for 30 seconds. Oops. Drat. I just undid what I did. Power level down. Okay. So we've got this on for 8 minutes already. We're gonna watch it. You cannot leave the room while you're doing this. I'm gonna do this for 30 seconds. Okay. I forgot one other thing you need is a butter knife. So we're gonna watch this. We're gonna do 30 seconds and then stir. These are the instructions on the back of the candy melt bag. They are very simple instructions. Do follow the instructions. So don't leave the room while you're doing this. 4, 33, 32, 31. And we'll just pop it open. There's our milk. They look exactly the same, but they are actually a little bit melted, so we're going to give them a stir. Hopefully I'm not creating too much of a shadow. And these are pretty cold still. Okay, just, well, room temperature. They're not melty yet. Put those back in. We'll just press start again and hang out for another 30 seconds. You can check them every 15 or 20, but your first batch, because they're starting out fresh and the container is still going to be room temperature, you don't want to do anything extra. So at first it's going to be every 30 seconds. Once you've made a few batches of these, you can check them every 20, because the bakeware container that you're using, the stoneware, that is actually going to get warm, and that'll make a difference as to how long it takes to cook. A slight difference. Don't stress if you go 30 seconds. Okay, so now we should see. There's a little bit of meltiness, right? Okay, let me see if I can get the tripod down, because it's hard to do this. Oh, sorry about that. Okay, tilt this so you can see, I hope. So there's a little bit of melt. Okay, that's good. Don't add any more, even though it looks like the level is going down, because we want these to melt at the same temperature. So don't ever add more candy melts. That's a mistake. It's a common mistake, but don't do that. I'll teach you the right way. Be careful when you're stirring not to flop it over the edges, because it will create a messy, messy, messy mess. And that is why you have these paper towels, because eventually it will happen. But for now, just stir it as best as possible using a butter knife, not a spoon, because you cannot wipe off a spoon like you can a knife. So it looks pretty good. Back in the microwave. And we're gonna go another 30 seconds here. This will be the last of it, because a minute and a half we'll cook this all the way, and then we're gonna pour the chocolate right into our boat. So I'm going to hold this the best angle I can, trying to get this on camera. I hope it works out well. This is the absolute best trick to how to get this done. It's been 20 seconds, so we'll go 10 more seconds, and we should be almost done. Okay, so now we've got nice melty mess in here. So all of this chocolate, you see all the sprinkle colors, kind of pretty and cute. You could do this for anything, baby shower, party, housewarming. This looks really fancy, but it's so easy. So that's what I'm teaching you. Pour it right into your little boat, more toward the front than the back. So more toward the opening end. Sorry, it's really hard to do this one-handed. Scraping out all of the excess, because you don't want to leave anything behind. See how well that shows up on camera. Okay, so you see it's there more toward the opening than the back. You don't really need to get any in the back. It'll end up there by accident. I'm going to do this left-handed. So you're going to take your pretzel rod, you're going to put it into the boat at the level that you want it, so it's all the way into the back. See? So you've got a little piece that you can hold, which is good, because nobody wants to hold the chocolatey part. And just sort of twist. Now, you've got your nice coated pretzel, and you're going to set it down to dry. You're just going to set it like this, and then the next one you're going to put the opposite way. So I'll show you that. From the frame. So pretzel, all the way back, spin it around, and pull it back, and twist and twist and twist and lift it up. Okay, pretty. I'm gonna lay them every other, left, right, left, right. It doesn't matter if the sticks are at the edges or what. It really doesn't make any difference. As long as they're every other, that saves you space and makes them easier to get off the container once you. So we are going to simply keep doing this, trying not to drip any off the edge until we run out of chocolate. So let's see how many we get. I'm going to guess about 7. So that's 3, you want to work quickly because the chocolate will only stay hot for a short period of time. This seems like a good activity for kids, but really big kids, not little kids, because the chocolate is hot and it does make a mess and you don't want them to get burned. So really more of a big kid activity, if you want to include the kiddies in this. Once you get a little low, you can sort of scrape with the pretzel itself to loosen it up from the foil. You did want to use a brand new piece of flat foil, which we did. Makes that a little easier. So I might be able to get one more out of this. I kind of don't think so. I think we're kind of at where we're going to be. And that made 5. Okay. So once you've got your first setting, I just got chocolate on my tripod. Once you've got your first setting down, mess, feel free to use your paper towels liberally. That's what they're for. Once you've got your first setting down, you're going to pour more chocolate. And I leave the knife right in the other chocolate because it's going to go back anyway. Pour in another bit of melt. And I find I get 3 of these per bag of melts. So then we'll put that back in the microwave, again at 30 seconds, again at half an hour. And you need to stay present and just keep going. As you do these more and more, what you're going to find is that the chocolate melts a little bit faster because the stoneware container is already warmed up. So we're going to go 30 seconds, and then we'll probably check it every 20 seconds 2 times. So let's see how that works. That should hold us. Do make sure that your container you're using is microwave safe. That's essential. Please do not use plastic when you microwave things. That's 30 seconds already. Because plastic can leak toxins into your food. So please don't poison anyone or yourself by microwaving plastic. This is just a really, really bad idea. So please, please don't do that. So also not only is the container a little bit heated, it's not hot because it's stoneware, but it's a little bit heated, but also the leftover chocolate that was in there is going to stick. So that's going to help it to melt a little bit better. So you see these are already a little gooier than the first set was after 30 seconds. And then just set the knife right back down on the chocolate. We'll put that, see, it's a little gooey already. Right back in the microwave. And we'll check that for 20 seconds. And so you'll see what's happened is if you use plastic, it can leach toxins into the food. Please don't do that. Please use stoneware or Pyrex, something that says it's specifically microwave safe. And you want to wipe your hands a lot because this makes a big old mess. And your counter and wherever else you've gotten chocolate. Mostly your hands. Okay. So another 30 seconds. That went fast. And we're getting pretty good and melty now. So you want to stir it as best as possible. Stir a lot. And that's going to make those like molecules stick together, and it's going to disperse the heat, and it's going to give you a nice even consistency. If ever you've worked with chocolate in the past, one of the problems that you've had is with getting the right temperature on the chocolate and getting it the right consistency. I think this is actually plenty melted, so I'm just going to go ahead and pour this right back in the boat. Scraping everything out of the container as best as possible. We are going to be using it again, so no stress. And try not to leave any on the edges, because that makes a mess. Alright, scrape off the knife. And this time we set the knife over on the container just because it's easier. So let's see if I can stay in frame. Alright. Okay. Actually, it looks like I put a little bit extra melts in this one by accident, which is fine. No big deal. This is not a perfectionist sort of a craft. This is just fun and delicious if you like sweet and salty together. Fun fact, I do not like sweet and salty together. I don't eat these. My husband loves them, and everybody I share them with really likes them, and everybody says how good they are. But personally, I like sweet and salty separate. So I do not like chocolate covered pretzels. I do not eat even one of these. So I might have a bite of one, but It's just not my thing. Here's a broken one. See, we'll just eat that later, just as a pretzel. Or if you're just making these for yourself or your kids or whatever, then, you know, go ahead and coat the broken ones too. Who cares? But these are not for me. These are for a party. And I want to make a nice presentation. So you could do, you know, pink or blue for a baby shower, or both, of course. You could do these, you know, these kind of sparkly color burst ones that already have the sprinkles in them. I have added any kind of chocolate sprinkle, brown chocolate sprinkles, or you can use colored sprinkles, sugar crystals. You can use the ones that they have for holidays, so they're the shape of leaves or Christmas trees or whatever it is you feel like. I went to a Christmas party once and brought some, and it was at a Jewish person's house, so I made blue and white ones for Hanukkah and also red and green ones for Christmas. So you can do whatever you want. They come in tons of colors now. Here's another broken one. So any of the broken ones, you just set to the side. Of course, you already cleaned your counter, so that's fine. I'm getting almost to the end here. I got quite a bit more out of this second bag, or this second batch. I did 5 the first time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I got 8 out of the second one. So if you do a little bit more chocolate, of course you get a little bit more chocolate to use. And some of them can be a little naked looking. See, that one's got some kind of naked spots on it where you can see the chocolate, the pretzel through. Just sort of run it down and twist more. The more you twist, oops, I'm spilling out the bottom. It's hard to do this and watch at the same time. As the more you twist, the more will get on there. And then you kind of tip it upside down to get the rest off. So we are doing our last batch now. This is the last of the bag. Set our knife over here. And yeah, because the second one I sort of over poured. So this one we don't have that much left. We'll put it in for 20 seconds. And while I clean my hands, I will show you what we're going to do next. So we've got this batch here, and then we went on to the second cookie sheet. So we are going to take these and put them in the fridge. You will need 2 empty shelves in your refrigerator. So I did make sure I hooked that up before we began. So we take our first batch, because this tray is full, and slide them right in the fridge. Oof, terrible sound. And those are just going to sit there for maybe 15 minutes. And as soon as our second cookie sheet is full, we're going to put those in as well. Okay, ready for stirring. Tripod to hand, tripod to hand. These YouTube videos are easier than they look, that's what I can tell you. And yeah, I had to clean my kitchen first. So, before you go saying anything about these people on YouTube, think about the work that went into them putting this together for you. And just say something nice, because they went out of their way to do something nice for you. And they weren't expecting anything from it. So, that's the whole thing about the YouTube community, which is so cool. So be nice and be good and don't be a troll. Alright, so we're pretty melty even after 30 seconds here. I'm starting to run out of space here if you see me sort of moving things around. Alright, we're just going to give this 20 seconds. I think it should be done. Put this back a little bit so you can see. Alright. Let's see how that is. That looks pretty melty to me. A little bit of lumps, the chocolate lumps, and that's fine. So just give it a lot of stirs, and that will make the temperature consistent. And the heat from this will heat up the chocolate that's left in the foil boat. The foil boat is the trick. I'm telling you, this is the thing. This is how to do it easy. Excuse me. All of a sudden my throat's dry. This is our last batch here. Scrape everything out. Okay. And mine is pretty clean. I'll just set that aside. Okay. And here's the last of them. So, put the pretzel in, all the way to the back. Twist and twist and twist. Pull forward. Try not to spill it. Sometimes you spill it. It's not that big a deal. And the broken one. As you can tell, I'm not a perfectionist. In my real life, actually, I kind of am a perfectionist. But when it comes to crafty things, I'm totally not. And I don't know why that is. Maybe somebody told me at a young age that it's just not important that things be perfect when it comes to crafts, but in your real life it is important. I don't know. That's my neuroses to deal with. But when it comes to crafts, I just don't think it's important to be terribly neat about things. I just think it's important to do it and enjoy it and share it with some people that might also dig it. So share these. Don't eat them all yourself. Or, you know what? I don't care. Eat them all yourself if that's what you like. So, it is a lot of empty calories, so go for a walk afterward or something. We're going to see how many we get out of this. Ooh, a lot of broken ones in this bag. I thought I checked, but sometimes you can't tell, right? So the more unbroken pretzels you get, the better, because then the more nice of a presentation you can make. But it's even good too. Let's say the party I was going to had kids. It'd be nice to do, you know, kind of tall pretzels for the adults and maybe the little short broken ones for the kids. So I don't have enough here left to do a whole pretzel. So I'm going to use a broken pretzel, to sort of scrape this stuff down. And then I'm just going to coat this broken pretzel because I think that's as much as I've got left, if even that, really, because we're really at the end of this. So there's not hardly anything here. Maybe enough to get past this. Let's see. Scrape, scrape, scrape. And who cares if you break the foil, because it's just foil. See, you have to be too perfect about it. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Whatever, who cares? Alright, so I am going to make the other bag of these. So for now, I'm just going to tilt this end up, the end of my boat. I hope you can see that. And that's just, you know, I'll tilt it back like this when I'm ready to go again. But for now, I'm just going to tilt it up so it doesn't drip and set that aside. And wipe my hands again because now I'm coated in chocolate, which is fine. So we've got one empty bakeware container, one more or less clean knife. Well, it's not clean, but it's not dripping. We've got our little boat, which we're going to use for later. For the second batch, this is what came of the rest of the pretzels, including the little short one. We've still got some more pretzels in here. There's probably like 8 more good ones in there, and then a handful of broken ones. And we just take these extra broken ones and toss them in the bag. That's why there's another counter. And then we've got another bag of pretzels, another bag of melts. So what we've got here is 1, 2, 3, 4. What do we have? 8, 13. We got about 20 almost, something like that. So we are going to put these ones have been chilling in the fridge for a couple of minutes. Oops. We're going to put those in the fridge for a few minutes too. Let's take these out. They should be fine. Oh, let me show you what I'm looking for. See on these how it looks wet. It looks shiny and wet. Like if you touched it, it would get on you. When you look at these, they are shiny but dry. You could tell that if you touched them, it wouldn't get on you. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for shiny but dry. So we're going to go ahead and put these in their container. Okay, so here's my plastic container. And we're just going to layer them in there. Oh, here's a little trick. As you pick them up, roll it. This way, and you will have a flat edge, but who cares? So roll it, that way you don't pull it up from its end. If you do this, you'll snap them. So roll it towards you, and then set it in the container, and we're gonna layer these. So you just set them flat end down. So the easiest thing I find to do is to loosen them all first. Roll it, roll it, roll, roll. roll, and roll. Okay, so now they're all loosened, and you just set them into the container. There you go. You should be able to see that. And since they are shiny but not sticky, you know that when you set them on top of each other, there's not going to be any problem with them sticking to each other. So we've got one nice layer in the container, and you see that my container's got plenty of room in there, and I will just keep stacking them like thus. You could stack them left and right, you know, so they're opposite. You'll fit a few more that way, but I just don't find it necessary. So that is what you're gonna do. And then you're gonna put this in the refrigerator, covered, and they will stay like that for a couple of days until you're ready to eat them. I wouldn't keep them any more than 4 days, 5 days, just like any leftovers. So just keep them for a few days. Don't keep them for too long. And that's it. They look really nice in your fridge, and people will, ooh, pretzels, yeah, and they'll want to eat them. And I have to stop banging the pickle jars and things like that into the other door. So with these, when they're nice and cool, maybe 5 more minutes, I will put them into their containers, stack them up nice, and I'm going to take a break from this, and in a little while I will come back and do the other set of pretzels. You know, I'll be back in like a half hour to an hour, so I'm just going to leave my stuff out on the table here. I know that I don't have ants or anything, so I know that this is fine to leave out and it'll be just as I left it. And if you have ants or roaches or little kids, you probably don't want to do that. Go ahead and clean up. But for me, I'll be fine, and I'm going to leave this here, and when I come back, I will do the rest, and we will fill up that container, and you will be all set to go. So I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you learned something. It's super easy, and enjoy chocolate covered pretzels like a pro.